What up, peoples? We are back. The Sunday Showdown crew is back. We're here with another team, another one of our teams that we love, a team that we care about, a team that we live, die, and cry for, okay? It's your baby man, Clubber D, with Shane Peacher and the one and only Lamar Dirty Mojo Lane. And today he has the floor because we are going to be talking about none other than his Falcons, and if my computer was working, it would show the grounded Falcon emoji, but, let's get it in, Lamar. What's going on with the Falcons this year?
Look, man. I had a lot of hopes for my Falcons last year. I thought they were going to go out and win a division. I was really excited about what they were going to do, and they were disappointing. They were that team that would beat a team that they weren't supposed to beat,
Mm-hmm.
and lose to a team that they were supposed to destroy. It
Right.
was so inconsistent. It was just something that, as a fan, you kind of like, as a Falcon fan, we kind of knew this was going to happen to us during this as the season started to get going on. But
Mm-hmm.
there were some bright spots and there were some dull spots of the team. The one of the dullest spots that I will honestly say is our head coach. I couldn't stand him. You guys knew I could not stand Radio Raheem. I talked about him every week. Another dull spot um our offensive coordinator, Zach
Yeah.
Robinson. I could not stand that guy calling nothing but pistol offense with that team. But then, you had your bright spots. You had your Xavier Watts. The four rookies that we had, they played phenomenal all season for us. And then, you had, of course, Bijan Robinson, man. I mean, what that
Mm-hmm.
guy put together, it was just something that a lot of teams can't say this, but even though our season ended 8-9, and everything that we've been going through for the season, I still look to 2026 and saying we got a chance to be a really good team still with
Right.
everything that happened. So, there was a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs. There was a lot of good points and bad points, but I'm actually glad that 2025 is behind us. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so focused on 2026, and I'm really excited. And this is something that I love about the NFL is that after the Super Bowl, everybody's got a clean slate, right? Every
Mm-hmm.
team has a chance to win the Super Bowl. It starts with everybody watching the combine, and it's free agency, it's the draft, it's OTAs, it's all of that, and then we get right back into it. So I'm really excited. I'm glad to be here to talk about how I just talked about the past, but hey, bring it on, guys. Don't hold nothing back.
Yep.
Hit me with the best questions you got about the 2026 Falcons, who are gonna do some good shit.
Well, speaking of good shit, let's talk about some bad shit. Let's bring up James Pierce and the drama he had after the
Oof.
season, since we talked about the good rookies and how great he was.
You had to. You had to.
Bang, bang. We're coming
Had
off
to.
hot here,
Had
gentlemen.
to.
we
Had to.
Wowzers. We're not even going to ask
Okay.
the slower question. Let's
we,
Okay.
we need to
And-
know. We all know what happened.
Yeah.
What is this? How is this going to impact the Falcons? He had what?
And-
How many sacks did he have? This guy was
Yeah.
destined to have a great NFL career. Not saying it's completely over yet, but it just doesn't look well. What are your thoughts on James Pierce?
Dion, I like how you made the topic of the Atlanta Falcons the grounded Falcons, right? Now, yeah, we think Falcons fly, they're grounded on the ground. But grounded, when we were growing up, means your ass was on punishment. I mean, your ass was stuck in the goddamn room. So, yes, the grounded Falcon that you had to bring up on the very first fucking question is the one that's about to be on punishment, James Pierce. Jesus Christ. Listen, hey, they say that the frontal lobe doesn't fully develop on a human until they're about 25 years old. James Pierce Jr. is 22, and that frontal lobe is the one that basically it helps you with making those decisions from right and from wrong to the consequences, right? And unfortunately, when you're 22 and you got a lot of money, guess what hits the mind? That pussy mind. You get that pussy mind, and next thing you know, everything, you just lose control. And Rakia Jackson, you know what I'm saying? She's pretty smoking hot, but you have to think as a NFL stud, you can get probably anything you want after that. But
easily.
From a lot of things that I've read, and we're seeing the reports, and it looks bad across the board. You see the video of him running from the cops and then being tackled and everything like that. But from a lot of stuff that I've read, though, was it looks worse than what it is compared to that first day of everything happening. And I'm in my forums, and we always talk about things, and there's people that come up there and they bring up issues. And there was actually an attorney, and he was talking about it. And he's an attorney in Florida, and he was saying that a lot of times cases like this, things tend to get dropped. The hitting a police officer, that tends to get dropped because there's a lot of things going on. You're kind of like just trying to get fight. it's not necessarily what it is. I don't think he actually put his hands on her. The way the story goes is that
She chased her with a
she,
car.
yeah, excuse me. The way the story goes, right, is that she broke up with him. Then she blocked his phone call because he was calling her. So he actually knew where she was at, saw her, tried to talk to her. She drove off. He followed her. She was actually going to the police station or whatever because she was saying that he was stalking her now at this
Yeah, she
point.
was in a burner and all that other
Pussy
stuff.
on the mind. It's been a couple days. He's been blowing her up, blah, blah, blah. When he gets to where he gets to, he crashes his car into her. I don't know how fast he was going. I don't know. Was it just kind of like get in front of her and block her in? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate anything. It's all allegations, right?
Good.
Yeah, she gets out. She, everything's happened. The cops see what's happening because it's right in front of the police car. They chase him down. They beat him up. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So for me as a fan, and I think for everybody else, you don't want to see somebody go to prison or go to jail, pussy on the brain, right? I'm sorry if I'm using it. I hope this isn't a PG a radio, but show. But I hope that when you see a lot of stuff that happens in the NFL, a lot of players have done some pretty reckless things, and you want to see guys get punished because you don't want these rich people to just get away with anything. But at the same time, you're kind of like, can this be something that can be fixed? And with a lot of stuff that happened with players in the past, they've gotten some punishment. I speculate that he is gonna get some punishment. I don't know how bad I don't know how bad the charges are because there's no charges yet on him. They're still investigating him, but for me, I'm looking at least half the season. So I'm looking at least a probably 10-game suspension for him, but I don't think he's going to get jail time and things like that, man. I really just don't. And call it what you want. Hey, you're a Falcon fan. You want your guy. I just don't see it, man. Especially look. I could bring up. I know we're talking about the Falcons, but let's bring up the Rashee Rice. The guy was driving 120 miles an hour, caused a 5-car accident, dipped out and left the scene. He didn't go to jail. So I mean, yes, I know it is domestic violence, but he didn't physically beat her up, punch her. I don't know. Just me.
Peach.
I'm just hoping. Fingers crossed.
Peach.
I
got something to say after you, Peach. I got something to say after you. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to know your thoughts on a prediction of how many. You said half the season.
10. I give 10 games.
That is huge.
Huge.
Being the fact that you traded this year's first round for him, so you don't have any first round this year because of him. Also, can you speak on that?
Yeah, that hurts us really bad because you're absolutely right, Peach. We only have 5 draft picks. Last year,
both of y'all got something in common then.
Yeah, last year I think we only had 4 or 5 draft picks also, and a lot of people kind of made fun of it and laughed, ha ha ha. Why would you give up your first round draft pick? But at the end of the season, we were all saying, hey, if James Pierce Jr. was in this year's draft, he's a top 5 pick. You know what I'm saying? So what we did was kind of like, hey, they gave him the first round draft pick for this year, but essentially they got a top 5 pick for this year's draft. And yeah, it hurts us a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, the way I see it is that, we have to do something to recoup this. It is going to hurt us very bad. You know what I'm saying? I can't say nothing about that because, I was extremely excited about the future of, like I said, those 4 draft picks that we had with was Xavier Watts. It was old boy from Georgia who's my guy. It was James Pierce Walker from here, and then it was Kobe Bryant. We have a guy Kobe Bryant. We have a guy Bowman, but Bowman towards ACL, but he was having a fantastic season from Oklahoma as a defensive back for us. So and we still got guys in the back, Jesse Bates and things like that. That this defense was something that I was really striving for, and man, the James Pierce thing, it does hit hard, man. It hits hard for me. I can only hope. It's a half the season, and we get him back towards the end of the season.
I'll say my quick piece of that. I doubt he's going to play this year. With the footage, with all the evidence, I highly doubt it. Yes, the charges can get dropped. Ray Rice wasn't charged. We saw what happened to him. When there's footage and when it's a DV, whenever it's a DV, Rashee Rice was totally different. I agree with you. He should have more stuff with that. But just like Carter from the Eagles, with him racing and the person unfortunately passed away. There's footage of Pierce, and he has a history of this, I guess. Reason why his draft stock, the way where he got drafted. So whenever anything's DV related in the NFL, they don't play no stuff. And the fact that they had to wrestle him to the ground and all this other stuff, I highly doubt he'll play this year. I don't know if he'll play ever. I think he will play again, but I don't think he's gonna play this year. I truly don't.
Well, to touch real quick on it, I can't remember the guy's name, but for the Patriots, there was a Patriots player who was involved in domestic violence thing. He was able to play out the rest of the season. because there wasn't any charges that had stemmed from him yet. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to go about this 2026 season. So, I mean, we just got to see. At this point, they're running investigations. They're doing all their due diligence, and we'll see
just like Jonathan Majors. He was K until we saw him run away from that white woman, and we ain't seen him since in Disney. So,
well, the problem I think, and Dion nailed on the head, is his past.
Yep,
that's going to screw him, I think. But hey, enough of the depressing talk. Let's move on to no more radio. The radio's turned off. Stefanski is coming in. How do you feel about that? And I know you have to be excited with how he used to run the ball in Cleveland with that old running back you guys have on your team. So let's get into the coaching change.
So, I mean, I didn't think that the Cleveland Browns were a very bad team. The Cleveland Browns did a lot of things that you can look back and say that you enjoyed it. I know that Kevin Stefanski called a lot of plays in the beginning, and towards the end of his career there, he started to delegate those plays off. And for me, I've always been this guy that said I can't stand a coach that gets hired after he got fired. There's a reason he got fired, right? You know what I'm saying, right? Like, you got fired because you're trash. You know what I'm saying? But the more I started to think about what was going on, man, Cleveland continued to set this coach up for failure year in and year out, year in and year out. He did win two coaches of the years, two coach of the year awards, right? You look at it and you say, how do you get rid of something like this? And then you go back and you look at, well, damn, they had 6 quarterbacks on their roster that you could argue could have been 6 starters on any team in the NFL that had a bad quarterback situation or anything like that.
Gabriel.
You could argue, okay, Gabriel, yeah. You could argue, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the starter for the Browns, obviously, at this point, right? Excuse me. So I was a little down at first, but I'm starting to like what he brings to the thing. And if he brings in that first couple years that he had with Cleveland in our division, I think we can be the team that doesn't have to be 15-2 to win. We can be that 11-6, that 12-5 team, and get our way in there. So I do like what he does bring, and obviously, we were able to keep Brick that did what he did with the defense, and he is bringing in Tommy Pease, and from what I've read from a lot of Cleveland Browns fans, is they didn't like him. So we'll have to see how he does. I'll give him a chance. I will say this: I gave Radio Raheem a chance, even though I didn't want to. I will give this guy a chance and see how it goes. So,
well, I'll say this: I like Stefanski. I think he gets a bad rap because of Cleveland, but everybody knows Cleveland's front office and ownership stinks.
Yeah.
Nobody wins in Cleveland. So what he did there is kind of a miracle. So, hey, let's see what he can do with a really good offense. I think you got legit players on offense. I think your defense is starting to roll. So
you're young.
This is where you're going to find out what Stefanski really is, I believe.
Right. We'll see what he can do with it.
And to be honest with you, Peach, that's a good segue saying starting brand new, because I'll be remiss without asking, what do you think the impact of the new GM is going to be via the draft and free agency? How do you think that's how it's going to fare for you guys?
Well, Ian Cunningham comes in, and the one thing, he came in from the Bears. I mean, he came in, and the one thing he was talking about. Yeah, not only that, don't forget we got Matt Ryan as the president too. So now you got Matt Ryan, who's an Atlanta Falcon legend, who I think I told you guys before that I wanted somebody, because we had talked about how Atlanta has this group that does hiring, and I'm like, who the hell are these guys? Like, this 10 guys that do help hiring. It's like, now you get Matt Ryan that comes in here. He's a Falcon true at heart. He's gonna do what's best for the interest of the Falcons and Falcons fans. So I like that. But then you got Ian Cunningham, a young guy coming in. He was not Ian Cunningham, right? Thank you. He was the assistant GM for the Chicago Bears, and you saw what the Chicago Bears started to do as far as growing their team and acquiring draft picks, also losing them, but acquiring draft picks. And one thing that Ian Cunningham said was, he said the Atlanta Falcons will never have 5 or less draft picks ever again, as long as he's the GM. And the GMs we've had in the past have always been trade up guys. They've never been the trade back guys to acquire those draft picks for us. So I like that. He's unfortunately we haven't gotten the deal together for Kyle Pitts, but he franchise tagged him, and he came in there, and there was a lot of talks, and it said, hey, what are you guys gonna do with Kirk Cousins? And he came in and he basically said, hey guys, hey, I love him to death, but we gotta let him go. We gotta move forward, and I can respect that. So as far as you're saying, Peach, I like what he's going to bring. There are some things that we have to look for 2026. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring as a new GM, along with the new coach, along with the new president. I think we're going to have a nice new regime. I think we're going to look really good for this season. So, yeah, man, thanks for asking that one. That's a good question.
And I will say this, you know my history with Bears fans this past year.
Mm-hmm.
They were devastated to lose him. And in fact, I think they like him more than Poles. So that could be a good thing going your way, because Bears fans, you know, usually when a person leaves a team, the fans kill him. No, they didn't kill Cunningham. They loved him, and they were sad to see him go. So I'm happy with that.
And he's actually I think he's from Atlanta, and his dad played. I think his dad played as offense. No, he was the offensive lineman. So, you know, we have a really good offensive line. He's going to build onto that for Bijan to have another great season. So I'm really excited about what we're going to do with these guys this year, man.
The Bears fans were pretty sad to see someone else leave today. I mean, I think it was today or yesterday. Their center that came from Atlanta.
Yeah, that's right.
He retired.
That's right.
Figure out that happens.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, that's gonna lead into our next question, I believe.
Yeah, and that is the Michael Pennix, man. What's going on with him? How's he with the injury? Is he going to be your starter to start the season? Is he going to be your starter moving forward? What do you think, man? What are they going to do at quarterback? Not just this year, but moving forward.
The way people heal off of a ACL tear, it's been phenomenal in the last 10, 15 years, right? Look what Adrian Peterson did when he tore his ACL. I think it was week 11. The very next year.
Rice came back the same year, I think.
Right. Yeah, right. Adrian Peterson tears it week 11. The next year, he runs for 2,000 yards, right? But obviously, Adrian Peterson's a freak. With Michael Pennix, this is his third ACL injury, okay? His third one. It's 2 to one knee, 1 to the other. He's had the shoulder injuries and things like that, guys. I don't know how severe the tear was. And I think we had talked before, maybe the tear was just a bad surgery from before. Maybe it was something that he didn't really get the right the right rehab. But as in the NFL, they're going to make sure their investment is their investment. They're going to make sure that you're good to go. But with that being said, the injury was week 9. There is a lot of questions, and he has been going on a lot of interviews talking about his rehab and where he is. And he said he's ahead of the game, but I think that's obviously coaching points of questions. They're going to say, I'm ahead of the game. No way in hell they're going to say, man, I'm behind the schedule. Fuck shit up, right?
All in for week 1.
Exactly. As far as the question about the quarterback of the future, that's good because, you know, we just talked about Ian Cunningham and what can he do for the team. You know, there's a lot of talk in the Falcon community amongst the fans, amongst analysts and things like that, with Kyler Murray and Tua possibly being, I don't know if Tua have been released yet, but Kyler Murray obviously getting the axe here, that Atlanta might be looking to bring one of those guys in. Now, I don't know specifically. I was not a fan of Tua. You guys remember way back when, I think me and Peach had this little thing. Yes. I said that Jalen Hurts was going to have a better career than Tua, and it looks like it's turning that way. And then I've never been a fan of Kyler Murray. I always thought he was overrated. So if they do bring these guys in and it's some stupid Kirk Cousins deal, then we're right back to square one. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So for me, yes, I do think Atlanta needs to bring in a quarterback, somebody that can help the team. I know you guys might laugh at your boy, but, you know, you got Gino out there. You got, you know, even Russell Wilson, you know what I'm saying? I mean, somebody that can come in and say, hey, look, we're going to cover your team for you. I know he is, but do they have a good enough team that a Russell Wilson or even a Gino can kind of carry you to week 3 or 4?
Russell will only go if Sierra wants him to go there.
Well, she's from there, right?
Exactly.
She's from there, so
that's the only way I see him going there.
To me, and I'm not the Falcons fan, but he is washed. He's done. If I was you, if I was the Falcons, I might look at Malik Willis. That's the guy.
Oh, yes.
That's the guy that I would go at. But you signed Malik Willis. You know what that means for your boy.
Pennix, he's out of there.
Yeah, he's probably out of there or a backup for the rest of his time there.
Yeah. So I think it's hard to do that when you're going to say, hey, we invested a first-round pick 8 on him just 2 years ago. Now let's bring in this other guy based off of him tearing his ACL with a terrible-ass Zach Robinson fucking offensive coordinator. So what can he do now? But yes, if he does start at the beginning of the season and he plays 16, 17 games, and it's just average, yeah, he won't be the quarterback of the
I
Atlanta
mean,
Falcons in 2027.
it's happened before. It's happened before. Look at Arizona. We bring Kyler Murray, the quarterback they got before, the homie from UCLA. I forgot his name, but he
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen was drafted high, and 2 years, and they draft Kyler Murray first.
And the same thing with that situation is like the Falcons this year. Guess what? This new regime didn't draft him.
Exactly.
So they could care less about it. I'm telling you that.
You're absolutely right.
About it.
You're absolutely right. And Dion, I know I brought up Kyler Murray and I brought up Tua, but you guys' backup quarterback too. That was somebody that Atlanta was floating around too. Mac Jones to come to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is this though. Here's the thing. Right now, Atlanta, we're sitting on about $8 million in cap space. You cannot bring in some stupid ass deal like they did with Kirk Cousins. So whoever you bring in, at the way it looks, it's on a 1 or 2 year deal. And Atlanta will be looking for a quarterback in the next 2 years in the next draft, right?
We're looking for a first rounder, which we're not going to get for Mac Jones.
Yeah. So at this point, it's like, what do we do here? You bring somebody in, maybe bring in Justin Fields. He's from Atlanta. You got to do something where you're not going to spend a lot of money, and you can probably have somebody carry the team for you for the first couple of weeks. That's why,
my boy,
looking forward to it.
My boy, Tyrod. I love
Tyrod. I wouldn't mind Tyrod Taylor either, man.
Tyrod, go Hokies. Well,
I wouldn't mind Tyrod either.
We're going for one side of the turmoil of uncertain future and not knowing what's going to happen with the quarterback being Pennix. At least we go with a little bit of stability on the defensive side. But how you got Jeff Ulbrich, ex-Niner linebacker. Now you're DC, and he does well. So how's he going to address the rush D?
That was one of our biggest things. We're undersized defensive front. You know what I'm saying? We were able to get after the quarterback, which we were the number 2 sack leaders in the NFL this year behind the Denver Broncos, but we couldn't stop the run. And in those games where you got to get off the field so that your offense can go out there and do some damage and help you guys out, we just couldn't stop the run. And, last year, Ian Cunningham, right? We get Ian Cunningham from the Bears. Who did we lose? We lost a fan favorite, Grady Jarrett, who was our staple at the defensive tackle position. He stepped in there and he did what he needed to do to help us stop the run. And the Falcons were also, we're short on linebackers. We didn't really have big depth at linebackers. Our back four was pretty decent. Our front four was pretty good at getting at the rushers. But when it came to hard-nosed, pound-for-pound football, we got to get off the field. It's 3rd down and 2. Falcons weren't doing that. And you guys saw a lot of games where Atlanta had a lead, and now next thing you know, it's just nickel and diming, but then it's driving down the field, and they're able to control the clock and do what they need to do to get in there. So with us not having very many draft picks, 5, and our first pick is the 2nd round, I think pick 48th, you know what I'm saying, overall. And with the needs that we need, it sucks because, we did just lose Darnell Mooney. Go ahead, Dion. Who? Yeah. So, the best wide receiver that the Atlanta Falcons have is Drake London. You got Kyle Pitts, so we have him on the franchise tag, but Atlanta does have holes too. Not as many holes as the Commanders do, but as far as the offense is concerned, we're gonna have to help whoever is playing quarterback move the ball. But I do think Ulbrich will figure things out. And the situation that happened with James Pierce, if we could bring back Leonard Floyd again, he was on a 1-year deal. There'd be something good to have there. He's somebody that averaged about 7 or 8 sacks a year. So somebody that could bring some stability and help with that defense and that run defense. So they got a lot of work to do. Out of 5 picks and not very much money in cap space, they got a lot of work to do. But fortunately for us, our division isn't very strong. And a minimal stuff that they could do here, there, pick this and that and third, do some changing of people's salary. Might help us do some stuff to just get us in the playoffs. That's all we need to do.
Gotcha. Well, I know Pete's going to end this because you and Pete have something similar this year.
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead and ask him.
You asked me, I'm about to ask you. What's up with these rumored new Falcons uniforms?
Oh, my God. Listen, everybody hated those big-ass fucking ATL jerseys that we had, right? Don't forget, didn't we have the FUBU gradient black to red shits that we had? Terrible, right? I was so excited when I saw the Falcons Instagram team and everything like that post like a little hint that we were getting something, but we have been talking about it like, man, the Falcons, that. And I don't know if you guys seen it, Dion, you might be able to post something about it, but the Falcons just recently, 2 days ago, dropped another little teaser, and it had Bijan, it had Walker, and it had Drake London, who were going to actually see it, and you could see the reactions to it, right? So there's no leaks like what happened with Tennessee. And Tennessee's new uniforms are fucking fire, man. They look,
I'm not gonna lie,
the colors, the colorway is awesome. I love it, so I'm excited.
The Oilers, man, you can't go wrong with that.
You cannot go wrong with that, man. I saw one too with like a T sword, and it had the Oilers at the top. That looked fucking good. But
I never liked the Tennessee's uniforms.
Nobody has. None of them have been good.
Terrible.
None of them have been good. So what we do know, and I hope, I say we know as if we got somebody on the inside, is that Atlanta is looking to go back to the 90s style look. So, it was the silver pants, the breeches and things like that. They're going to kind of go back to like that old look to it. You know what I'm saying? So I really like that. But there's also been talk about possibly red helmets and going back to red prime jerseys. So for instance, we had black. So they'll go as a red jersey. But if they bring back the silver pants that they had back in the 90s, which looks so good, and the stripe on the side, old Dirty Bull Bird Jamal Anderson uniform type look, but with just a newer little fling to it. Yeah, Ray Buchanan. Oh God. Yeah. Who was our safety that slept with the prostitute in the
That was Buchanan.
No, it wasn't Ray Buchanan. It was
the one who missed the Super Bowl though, right?
No,
Buchanan missed the Super Bowl.
He might have missed the Super Bowl, but the safety was the one that got in trouble, but it wasn't Ray Buchanan. It was not Ray Buchanan. I wish if I didn't need to tell you the name, of course I would be able to tell you, but it wasn't it. I'll tell you after we shut this shit off. You're gonna laugh. You'll probably post a picture back to what we're talking about, like this. So I'm excited about it, man. I'm really excited about the uniforms. And guess what, Peach? Because I know I asked you the question. I was gonna get a James Pierce jersey.
Oh,
I'm sure that's your wife.
No. No. I'm not gonna get that one. I'll probably go with the Drake London jersey. This go around.
You might get suspended from your man cave.
I know, right?
if it's not a Drake London, I go with Jesse Bates. I like Jesse Bates a lot too. I think he's doing great jobs for us.
That is true. You brought up a good point. I'm going to be buying 2 new jerseys at least because we got the 2 new styles again back. So
yeah. So
sure you'll do the same.
You guys see, I still rock my Roddy White, man. It's my favorite Atlanta Falcons player, and I got my Julio Jones jersey, so I'm not going to buy an 11 jersey.
Man, you drafted that man every year for 30 years in a row in fantasy football. God, he had to retire before you didn't have him on your team.
Yeah. No, just like Dale getting Anquan Bolden and Fitzgerald every year back to back. Like, how do you get these two? Always.
Like, is this 2001 or 2012? What is going on here?
What is this? Yeah. Well, this was a great insight on the Falcons, and
yeah, man.
If you're out there, all you Falcons fans, comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Take us out, Lamar.
Hey guys, man, I'm so glad to be back in it. Man, 2026 is starting out so fun, so fresh, man. I'm looking forward to everything. I'm looking forward to free agency who's starting here in a week or so. The NFL draft is starting here in a month. OTAs, everything like that. I cannot wait, fans who are watching, who are hopefully subscribing, hitting the bell so they know when anything comes up to see what we're doing. I cannot wait to dive into our teams and talk about your guys' team too. So, man, keep looking out for us, man. It's a fun thing, man. This group is guys, man. I love you guys, man.
Yes, sir. Love you too, man. Sunday Showdown. Catch you on the next one. We will have a combine show when you see this. We will be ripping and ready to go when free agency starts. Sunday Showdown, we out.
Hey.